Hi everyone, this is my review of the Ohana BK-35. Now the BK-35 is an all solid wood baritone ukulele. Ohana do three models. There's the BK-20 which has solid top, laminate back and sides, and the BK-20 CE which has a cutaway and is also has also got some electrics. This is the best model of baritone that Ohana do. Now, because it's a member of the 35 series, it's got something in common with all the other instruments in that series. The 35 series have solid mahogany top, sides and back. The binding is solid rosewood. There's some purfling front and back, some white purfling. There's a white rosette. The bridge is rosewood. The saddle and nut are bone. There's a plate at the top here on the headstock which is rosewood. Now if we just compare it with a couple of other members of this series, we'll see the size and the similarities. So let's compare it with, first of all, the tenor size. This one is the TK-35G. So this is the gloss finish. The baritone here has a matte finish. So that's the tenor size. We can also compare it with this, which is the new tipple. Now the tipple is actually slightly deeper than even the baritone, but the body is tenor sized. This of course has 10 strings. There are quite a number of other instruments in the 35 series. There's an electric tenor and concert, and of course we've got the soprano size as well, both in matte and gloss. Back to the baritone. So the baritone here is of course tuned like any other baritone. Baritones are normally tuned the same as the top four strings of a guitar. So the top string here is E, and then B, then G, then D. So the string 1 is E, 2 is B, the third string is G, and the fourth string is D. And it's more usual for a baritone to be a non-reentrant tuned instrument. So we have a low fourth string. Now this of course means that at least one, but usually two of the strings will be wound strings. And that can cause a problem, a little bit of difference in tone. You have to be aware of this when you're playing it. They also wear out a little more easily than the regular strings. This particular one comes at the moment with Ghs strings, which are nylon, which I have to say are slightly more quiet than perhaps Ukuleles or Worth strings would be. Ukuleles are nylgut, Worth strings are fluorocarbon. But these are just regular nylon, and they're not quite as loud as some other strings, but they do the job. Now, anything else about the baritone that we need to know? First of all, I think we ought to talk about the size. It does feel considerably bigger than a tenor size or of course a concert or soprano. You do feel like you're holding something close to the size of a guitar. However, you must remember that a baritone ukulele is played like a ukulele, not like a guitar. There is a difference, and baritones do feel like ukuleles, even though their size is very different perhaps than the smaller sized instruments. Let's just listen to the sound. If we just play a chord of C, we'll hear that in fact it isn't a chord of C. Now, what I'm actually playing here is a chord of G. But of course most ukulele players would recognize that shape as the C shape. You have to remember that because of the different tuning, a baritone ukulele has different names for the chords. But in case there's any confusion, any chord that you can play on a tenor or a concert or a soprano ukulele, you can also play the same shape on a baritone. It will just have a different name. So on a tenor or a concert or a soprano, this would normally be C. But on a baritone, you have to think of that as a chord of G. Now, if you've played the guitar, there's no problem, of course. Anyway, enough about tuning. Let's just hear a little bit more of this instrument. If I play something that's finger-picked, I think you'll agree that sounds really, it has a lovely tone. Now let's see what it can sound like if we do something a little bit more lively. Something that's perhaps picked, let's use the middle finger and the thumb to support it. I don't know, something like this, something bluegrass. Anyway, this has been a review of the Ohana BK-35. See you next time. Bye-bye.